when did you start campaigning on FGM?
I started campaigning about 5 years ago. I was around 14 years old, and I sort of felt like it was the silent abuse, it was the neglected abuse in British society. It was the one that everyone liked to ignore and brush under the carpet, and it kind of angered me. I felt like there were girls out there being mutilated and just no one wanted to know or hear about it. And so I decided to do some campaigning to raise some awareness.
Did you feel nervous when you first started campaigning? Were you worried about what members of your community would say or what other people would say about you?
I was nervous because I knew where the community stood when it came to campaigning against FGM. We had some backlash and there were quite a few people who were against the work when we were doing it. But when I started doing the work, I felt like if I didn't carry on with it, I would be doing exactly what the government and the educational institution have been doing, neglecting the abuse. So I decided to sort of stand up against the work that these sort of community elders, if you like, were doing, of sort of saying that, oh no, FGM doesn't go on anymore, when in reality it did. It was just being ignored by everyone else.
Okay. And have you had any criticism for being outspoken on FGM?
All the time. I mean, we have criticism all the time because there are people out there who don't want us to talk about the situation, who don't want us to say anything about FGM. But I feel like, you know, if you're doing something good, you're always going to be criticized, and the criticism will just empower you, and it will show you that you're doing something right. There must be something right for someone to have to criticize for what you're doing. And I feel like, you know, the more criticism that came, the harder we worked and the harder we tried to raise awareness. And it just seemed to now, I feel like people are more open about FGM and they want to talk about FGM because they realize if young girls can stand against this criticism, so can I. So our mothers are involved, our aunts, our family. And it's just amazing to see all this happening.
Great. And what would you say to other young people in other countries who are listening to your interview today and say, wow, she's so brave, she's so strong, I could never do that? What would you say to other campaigners who feel that they're not strong enough or they're not brave enough?
I feel like everyone is strong enough, and if you asked me this question 4 years ago, I would have been like, I have no advice. But now I would just say stand up against the bullies because they're all just cowards and they just want to silence you. And by standing up and doing this work, you are beating them, you are winning, and just carry on with the work as hard as you like. Just do it. Just don't worry.